I planned a small, meaningful party to celebrate something huge, a promotion I had worked years for. It wasn't supposed to be flashy, just a gathering with the people who mattered. My mom offered to host it at the house I grew up in. I agreed, hoping maybe things were different now. But when I walked in that day, something felt off. The place was too dressed up, too polished. And then I saw her, my younger sister, walking down the stairs like it was her night. That's when it hit me. Once again, something that was supposed to be mine had been taken. Just like always. But this time, I didn't stay quiet. Growing up, I learned pretty early that in our house, my little sister was the star. It didn't matter what I did. I was always just there. When she was born, everything shifted. My parents filled the house with special toys and books just for her. They hired tutors before she could even walk. Meanwhile, I got hand-me-downs and constant reminders to try harder. I remember one day when I brought home a second-place ribbon from a school art contest. I was proud. It was a big deal to me. I held it up at dinner, hoping for even a smile. My mom barely looked up from her plate and said, "Claire finished reading her first chapter book today." That was it. No one else said anything. I just sat there, holding that ribbon in my lap, feeling like it didn't matter. Over time, I stopped trying to impress them. I figured if I was always going to be invisible, I'd have to be the one to see myself. The day my grandmother sat me down and told me she'd pay for my college was the first time I felt like someone truly believed in me. She didn't ask for anything in return. She just said, "You've done enough on your own. Let us help now." With their support, I left home and never looked back. At college, I worked hard, not because I had to prove anything to my parents, but because I finally wanted something for myself. I landed a solid internship, earned good grades, and slowly started building a life that was mine. After graduating, I joined a financial firm where I moved up faster than anyone expected. Long nights, tough meetings, constant pressure, I took it all. And recently, after years of putting in the work no one ever saw, I got promoted to Chief Strategic Investment Officer. It wasn't just a title. It was proof that I could rise, even without them. I trusted my mom with the party. After all, she said she wanted to make it special. Just close family, a nice dinner, something warm and simple. I even sent her $3,500 to help with everything. For a moment, I let myself believe that maybe things were different now. But the second I stepped into that house, I knew something was off. The decorations were over the top, like a wedding. White orchids everywhere, gold ribbons, a giant cake that didn't even have my name on it. Then my sister came down the stairs in a red satin dress, holding hands with a guy I didn't even know. My mom stood up beaming and announced their engagement. My engagement party, she called it, except it wasn't mine. It never was. I stood there frozen, trying to process it, when my dad grabbed my wrist and whispered, "Don't ruin this. If you make a scene, you'll lose whatever's left. No contact, no inheritance." That's when something in me cracked. Not out of anger, just deep, quiet hurt. Again, I'd been erased. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just stepped forward, picked up my glass, and cleared my throat. "Can I say something?" The room went still. My sister froze, my mom looked nervous, and my dad stood stiff like he was ready to stop me. I looked around and said, "This party was meant to celebrate my promotion. I paid for it. I trusted my mom to organize it. But somehow, again, it's become all about Claire." People shifted uncomfortably. I kept going. This isn't just about today. It's every birthday, every school event. Every time I did something good and got ignored so she could shine. And I stayed quiet. But not tonight. Claire's fiancé turned to her, confused. "Wait, you told me this was a small family thing. You used your sister's promotion money for this?" She didn't answer. He set his glass down, shook his head, and walked out. The silence that followed was heavier than anything I'd ever felt in that house. But for once, it didn't scare me. My mom rushed toward me, her face pale with shock and anger. "How could you do this to your sister?" she snapped. "This was supposed to be a special night for her." I looked at her, calm. It was never supposed to be hers. My dad stepped in, his voice low and cold. If you walk out that door, you're done. No more family, no inheritance, nothing. Before I could answer, my grandfather stood up. Then it's time you know, he said. We changed our will months ago. Everything goes to Stephanie. The house, the savings, all of it. My mom gasped like the wind had been knocked out of her. Claire burst into tears and ran upstairs. No one followed her. I didn't say another word. I just picked up my bag, turned to my grandparents, and nodded. Then I walked out. Not to prove a point, but because I finally could. With peace, not pain. Looking back, it was never about money or even the party. It was about finally being heard after a lifetime of silence. I didn't speak up to hurt anyone. I spoke up because the truth had waited long enough. Now I lead a team at the firm, live in a quiet apartment in the city, and spend Sunday dinners with my grandparents. I haven't spoken to my parents since that night, and honestly, I don't feel the need to. A few months ago, Claire showed up at my office. She didn't say sorry, just asked how I did it all without anyone's help. I told her the truth. Because I had to. That was the end of it. I used to break myself to earn their approval. Now I just protect my peace. And that's more than enough.